Okay, Tom, my first question to you is, how did you get started? How did your career begin?
Well, I started a long while ago. I started in 1959, really. I was raised on a dairy farm in western New York State at about the age of 11 when when our family, as a matter of fact, got the first television set in the neighborhood. This is 1951. I started to watch what little programming there was, and there were westerns on. They put a lot of westerns on, and there were kids playing parts in the westerns, and I couldn't believe that kids got to be in the movies. I asked my mother, are those little people? Are they kids? Are they little people? What are they? I said, no, honey, those are children. And right then I said to myself, oh man, I got to be one of those. So from the age of 11, I wanted to be an actor, and I pretty much never strayed from that path. Since I was raised in the country, I was 300 miles away from New York City, which is a capital for entertainment, of course, and show business, and 3,000 miles away from Los Angeles, and didn't have any way to get to either of those places. I had to turn to my guidance counselor at the high school and say, how can I get to be an actor? Which was not a question that he got asked very much. It was a country high school, Kids maybe wanted to know how to go to ag tech colleges or something like that, but to be an actor. But all credit to him, he was really kind, and we researched. We found a good college pretty near my home, 90 miles away, called Ithaca College. It still exists to this day, and it has a wonderful reputation now as being a really good school for kids that want to learn theater. So I went there for 4 years, and in the summers I would do what was called summer stock. You did plays in barns or wherever all summer long, like 10 plays in 10 weeks, that sort of stuff. So I got on my feet and got on the stage and acted right away. Really, for the first time, I didn't get to do much in high school, but in college and in the summers, I never got off the stage. So I had a lot of practice. I did 4 years at Ithaca College. I didn't feel ready to go to New York, the big city, and face all of that insanity. So I spent 2 more years in graduate school at Boston University, which has a good reputation as well for being a good place for kids to study theater. Mm-hmm. I went there, and then finally, I said, okay, I got to bite the bullet and go to New York, where I did, which I did, and, I kind of sank like a stone, like everybody does. I went to auditions and got 1 out of 50 or something like that, which is probably the average. But I applied myself. I worked a lot in off Broadway. No money, but experience. Mm-hmm. I did some repertory down at Center Stage in Baltimore. Then finally I got a really nice gig to tour with a production of a play that had been adapted from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This was before the movie. It had been adapted from Ken Kesey's novel, and the play was very successful, so successful they wanted to send out a tour of it. And I got into that, went up to Boston and played for 2 years. Our tour didn't go any further than there. And stayed there for 4 more years after the show closed, starting a theater company. But then the winter of 78, I said, oh my goodness, this is too much. I don't like the winter. And I came out to Los Angeles in 1978. And just did the thing that actors do. There are publications back then. There were print publications, hard copy publications, which listed auditions you could go to. So I went to auditions. I got an agent. I did a lot of theater for free, as everybody does. And I did some tiny parts in TV shows, mostly. A little part in a Joanne Woodward TV movie called Streets of L.A. got me my Screen Actors Guild card. And then I did some more sitcoms and stuff like that. I was always I have always been pretty much a day player. You work like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. If you get like a week, oh my goodness, it's like dying and going to heaven. There are a lot of us out here. We make up the bulk of the population. So that was it. Just the good luck of having a really kind guidance counselor, of all things, in my high school. If it hadn't been for him, I wonder what I would have done. But fortunately, I landed right in the right place at the right time. I learned my craft and learned how to get work as the best one can, and did my best at auditions, and slowly, I got in. So that's how I started in show business.
Awesome, and you're still at it, still being an actor.
61 years later. I'm so funny. I consider the moment that I left the farm to go to theater school, which was in September of 1959. I consider that moment to be when I started in show business. So counting that, I go back 61 years, still trying, having a good time, almost always.
Absolutely.